All right, let's just do it like this. This has become its own video. So I was going to do the game two recap at the beginning of game three. However, given what's transpired, I don't even know how game three is going to get done. That's a bit of an exaggeration. I think Toronto may have enough replacement players that I can slot into the lineup here, but it's going to be tricky. So Bobby Orr is out for the playoffs, so it's not like when I start talking about Toronto there, it's not like Boston. Even though it is just the one guy, that one guy happens to be number four, so that's inevitably going to impact them and impact their blue line some. Toronto, they will be without the services of Ron Ellis, Howie Menard, Noel Picard for the playoffs because there are only 3 games left in this best of 5 series, up to 3 total games left. And Andy Bathgate as well. He's going to be gone for 1 game. He'll be due back the next game. But other than that, with the out, it means that they've all rolled. Their injuries rolled out to 4 games or higher, so they are done. Dave Keon got really lucky despite his -3. He rolled low in the 2D10. So Keon is able to play in the next game. He'll have a -1. And immediately, as soon as I jotted that, this little voice in my head said, yeah, until he gets injured again. So I don't want to curse poor Dave Keon, but especially with Ron Ellis, this really hurts Toronto. Toronto has not scored a goal yet in the series by a player not named Ron Ellis. So I don't know who the heck is going to score for the Maple Leafs in Game 3. They're having enough trouble with their offense, and this, as you can see here, this was a 2-1 game. This was Boston 2, Ron Ellis 1. And it's unfortunate, actually, the aftermath, given that, I mean, opinions are like belly buttons, but for all the games of Hockey Bones that I've rolled, and I've said this a few times in the short duration of this project, this is still one of the best. This has got to be one of my favorite that I ever rolled. When I replay videos, when I play them back, I play my voice at double speed. I think I talk just slow enough that, unfortunately, that when I play things at double speed, I don't sound too chipmunky. So that's how I play stuff back when I record stats, shots on goal, and things like that. When I dot and scribble, and so in other words, I could be off by 1%, 3%, hopefully no more than 4 or 5% when it comes to the exact shots on goal total. But this is what I got for the game, and as far as I'm concerned, if this is not perfect, look, if I missed a shot on goal, it means it missed the net, or it hit the crossbar or a post, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So. Toronto outshot Boston 55-16 in regulation. If you can imagine this game occurring in real life, they're at Maple Leaf Gardens. I knew that Doug Favell had been standing on his head throughout the game, but I wasn't tracking shots on goal at the time. So when I played the video back and I realized, okay, he was outshot 55-16. Again, I might be off by about 1% or so. Toronto outshot them 16-2 in period 1. Again, if I missed a shot for Boston, whatever, it missed the net. 17-7 in period 2, 22-9 in period 3. So they kept getting more and more shots on goal each period as the defense, I don't know, just went by the wayside, I guess. And 6-5, so finally Boston outshoots Toronto in overtime. And of course, it is that final shot taken by one Ted Hampson, his first shot on goal of the game, that managed to get through and ended up being the OTGW, the overtime, sudden death overtime game winner. So Boston is ahead. This 1-0 is now a 2-0. I put that there prior to the game. Boston is, they're up 2-0 in the series, and it is a best of 5, meaning it is do or die. For a Toronto team, it will be do or die in the next game at Boston Garden. And as you can see here, it's already kind of a dying Toronto team. So, in terms of their playoff prospects. With that being said, I will say this for Toronto's sake. They've managed to make it close, keep it tight, and make it interesting, at least for, my concern. I'm rolling it and having a good time, and you can have that sometimes. And I think I said that just prior to the series. I said that my hopes for this is either I'm going to have 3 really tight games, close, like 1-goal games, which the first 2 games were. They were both 1-goal games. This one 1 goal, and it wasn't decided in regulation. It was tied after regulation, and or having kind of like what Boston and New York had in round 1, the seesaw series, where momentum swung New York's way there for a couple of games, and in the do or die situation, Glenn Hall registered a shutout in Game 4. So one way or the other, just really kind of hoping for something like that. But man, again, I'm going to go through the Toronto cards like Gary Amon. I know he'll be making an appearance now. Brenneman's going to figure into some things now. Toronto's got some guys, I think, that can cover. Alan Stanley will at least suit up for Toronto, probably as their number 5 defenseman, but Stanley will get the nod for this game as well, because really they've run out of choices. And it's nothing on Alan Stanley. It's just at this point he was kind of like a legacy player that I signed to keep Toronto's core intact, even though Stanley himself, I think he went and played for Philadelphia, maybe another team there, kind of journeyman this final season or two of his career. But I thought as part of Toronto's core, I would at least sign him. Ditto guys like Arnaud Richard in Montreal, who had a bad year in 68, and a few other players like that. I think Chicago got a veteran as well, Nesterenko actually, who figured into things pretty good defensively for the Blackhawks, though the team results didn't necessarily reflect that. Anyway, anytime any consideration you give to any shameless geeky dumb like this, I guess, of course it's never expected, but it is always appreciated. And I thought rather than try to gab about this prior to game 3, just after I'd rolled out the injuries, I thought, no, this is its own video. So this is kind of my game 2 recap again. In the end, shots on goal, Boston was outshot. I should really make a point here and point to Doug Favell, because Boston was outshot 60-22 in the game. Doug Favell, and I went and compared it, so there is historic precedent for it in the actual NHL. There's the Tugnut 70 shots on goal game. The final score is like 3-2 or something like that. There was a tie game, I think, after overtime in Boston. Kelly Hrudey had a playoff game where he faced like 75 shots. There's a guy, Norm Smith, back in the, I can't remember now, I think the 30s, who would have done one or two better than Doug Favell did here. 60-some saves, and I think it was a shutout. A few other guys. There's a gentleman for Chicago as well. Can't think of his name now, though he had a pretty unique name. A similarly outstanding performer. I think he faced 83 shots, actually. It's like a record. In 60 minutes, he faced 83 shots, and Chicago lost that game like 3-2. So there is some historic precedent for a performance like this, but not much. 59. Doug Favell stopped 59 out of 60 shots. By my count, which I admit is probably slightly less than 100% accurate, I don't really care. It wasn't like I was trying to be wrong, and I think I got close enough. Bernie Perront's taking penalties in back-to-back games. And Perront, 20 out of 22, that's a 900, isn't it? 900. It's slightly above 900, still looks like a 910 save percentage. So it's not like Perront's performed badly, but how do you outperform 59 out of 60? I don't know. If you're Toronto, you're really going to go back to the drawing board and try to figure this out if you want to stay alive in this series. Anyway, cheers, thanks, bye for now.